You have felt the shift in the air, haven't you? You didn't ask for it, and you certainly didn't plan it, but something inside of you has simply gone quiet. You find yourself standing in rooms that used to feel like home, yet now they feel like a waiting room for a life you no longer live. You are looking at people you have known for years, listening to the same stories, the same complaints, and the same vibrations. And for the first time, you feel absolutely nothing. No anger, no need to fix them, no desire to belong, just a profound, echoing silence. This is the silent exit of the soul. You are outgrowing roles you were once paid to play, roles you were birthed into, and roles you sacrificed your peace to maintain. And the most powerful part of this entire transition is that you haven't said a single word about it. You haven't made an announcement. You haven't posted a manifesto. You haven't sat anyone down for a talk. You are simply withdrawing your energy, and the world around you is beginning to panic because they can feel the vacuum where your light used to feed them. Think about the physical heaviness you've been carrying lately, that unexplained pressure in your chest, the sudden need to sleep for 10 hours and still wake up feeling like you've been traveling through dimensions. That is the weight of a costume that no longer fits. You are trying to squeeze a celestial being into the skin of a people pleaser, a peacekeeper, or the family problem solver. But the fabric is tearing. You might have noticed your throat feels tight, or perhaps you've developed a sudden intolerance for loud noises, crowded spaces, and superficial chatter. Your body is literally rejecting the old frequency. You go to the grocery store, and the lights feel too bright. You sit at the dinner table, and the conversation feels like sandpaper against your spirit. You are experiencing a sensory overload because your internal vibration has accelerated while your external environment has remained stagnant. You are moving at the speed of light, while the people around you are still walking through the mud of 3D drama. You try to participate, you try to laugh at the jokes, you try to care about the neighborhood gossip, but your soul is staring out the window miles away, wondering why you are still pretending to be small. Have you noticed how exhausted you get after just 20 minutes of interaction with certain people? It's not just introversion, it's an energetic mismatch. You are a high-voltage current trying to plug into a dead socket. You leave those encounters feeling drained, not because they are bad people, but because you are playing a role that has expired. You are still showing up as the version of you that they are comfortable with, but that version died months ago. You are ghosting your old self, and in doing so, you are becoming a ghost in their world. You used to be the one who smoothed things over. You were the bridge. You were the one who stayed late, listened longer, and cared more. But now, you find yourself looking at your phone when it rings, watching a familiar name flash on the screen, and you feel a physical repulsion, not because of hate, but because of a lack of resonance. You realize that to answer that call is to step back into a cage you just escaped. You are realizing that your silence is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate boundary. The world expects an explanation. The Matrix demands a reason. It wants you to justify why you aren't the fun one anymore, why you aren't the reliable one anymore, or why you've stopped participating in the collective trauma bonding. But the chosen one knows that an explanation is just a leak in your power. To explain is to give them a handle to pull you back in. So you remain silent. You move through your day like a shadow, doing what is required but tethered to nothing. You are in the in-between. It is a lonely, cold, and sterile place, but it is necessary. You are shedding the skin of the black sheep and the outcast, and realizing those were just labels given to you by people who couldn't handle your light. You aren't leaving them. You are simply vibrating at a frequency where they no longer exist. This is the quietest revolution in history. No flags, no shouting, no drama, just a slow, steady withdrawal of the most precious resource in the universe, your divine attention. Why is this happening now? Why does it feel like a sudden, cold detachment rather than a gradual shift? You must understand that this is not a psychological phase. It is a spiritual eviction. The universe has served you a notice to vacate the lower realms of your existence because your assignment there is officially over. When a chosen one stays too long in a role they have outgrown, the universe begins to make that environment uninhabitable. It turns up the heat. It makes the comfort zone feel like a bed of nails. The spiritual cause of this detachment is a recalibration of your soul's signature. In the unseen realms, you have been upgraded. Your light body is now operating on a frequency that is incompatible with the dense, murky vibrations of your past. Think of it like this. You were once a radio tuned to a local station, playing the songs of your ancestors, the melodies of your trauma, and the static of the collective. But the hand of God has reached down and turned your dial. You are now receiving signals from the great central sun. You are hearing the music of the spheres. And because you are hearing a different song, you can no longer dance to the beat of the world. You were placed in those old roles for a reason. You were the undercover agent in your family line. You were the frequency stabilizer in your friend group. You were sent there to hold the light in the darkness, to provide a blueprint of sanity in a world of chaos. You played the role of the helper, the listener, and the one who took the blame because your shoulders were strong enough to carry it. But that mission has a timestamp. The contract you signed before you incarnated has reached its expiration date. If you continue to play those roles, you are no longer serving. You are interfering with the divine order. When you refuse to leave a role you've outgrown, you create spiritual friction. This friction manifests as the anxiety you feel when you have to go to work, the dread you feel before a family gathering, and the deep existential boredom that gnaws at your gut. The universe is trying to tell you that there is nothing left for you to harvest in that field. You have picked every grape. You have tilled every inch of soil. To stay any longer is to starve. Your soul knows that the nourishment you used to get from those relationships and roles has turned to ash. There is a divine law of displacement at work here. For the new life to enter, the old role must be completely vacated. You cannot hold the scepter of your true sovereignty while you are still holding the mop for everyone else's mess. You are being forced into a state of holy indifference. This is a high spiritual state where you are no longer moved by the opinions, the guilt trips, or the emotional manipulations of the matrix. You are becoming untouchable. This is why you feel so cold. It's not a lack of love, it's the presence of divine discernment. You are finally seeing that your energy is a currency, and you have been overspending it on people who are spiritually bankrupt. The spiritual cause is also linked to your ancestors. You are the one who is breaking the cycle of the burden bearer. For generations, the women and men in your line were told that their value was found in how much they suffered for others. They were taught that to be good was to be a doormat. By outgrowing these roles without an announcement, you are snapping the chains of 1,000 years. You are telling the spirit world, the debt is paid. The cycle ends with me. You are being prepared for a high-value assignment. You cannot lead a movement, build a legacy, or walk in your true power if you are still reacting to the petty dramas of people who refuse to grow. The universe is isolating you so it can whisper the secret plans for your future. It is stripping away the noise so you can hear the call. You aren't being punished with loneliness. You are being protected in a sanctuary of silence. You are in the cocoon, and the cocoon is supposed to be tight. It is supposed to be dark. It is supposed to be a place where the old you dissolves completely so that the new you can emerge with wings that the world has never seen. You are no longer a part of their world. You are an observer of it. You are watching the play from the wings of the stage, realizing that the character you used to play was just a costume. The script has been rewritten. The stage is being reset. And you are finally ready to play yourself. Now that you have withdrawn your light, the shadows are starting to stir. You must understand that the matrix and the people still plugged into its frequency do not react well to silence. When you were the reliable one, the fixer, or the black sheep who always stayed in their place, you were predictable. You were a source of energy they could count on. But now that you have outgrown those roles without an announcement, you have become a glitch in their system. You have become an unknown variable, and nothing terrifies a narcissist or a parasitic system more than a chosen one they can no longer read. Observe the reaction of those around you. Have you noticed the sudden, subtle test messages? The random check-ins that feel more like surveillance than concern? They are fishing for a reaction. They are throwing hooks into your water, desperate to see if the old you will still bite. They are trying to provoke you into an argument, a defense, or an explanation. Anything to get you to lower your vibration back down to their level. They need you to care about their drama because your caring is the fuel that keeps their illusions running. When you remain silent, they starve. They are scared of you now. They won't admit it. They will mask it with mockery or anger, but they are trembling. Why? Because your silence is a mirror. As long as you were playing your role, you were shielding them from their own reflection. But now that you've stepped back, they are forced to look at the emptiness of their own lives. They realize that without your light to guide the way, or your shoulders to carry the burden, they are standing in the dark. Your growth exposes their stagnation. Your peace exposes their chaos. The enemy's reaction is often to villainize the version of you they can no longer control. They will start a narrative that you are acting different, that you've changed, or that you are going through something. They will try to diagnose your divinity as a mental health crisis. They will tell the family or the friend group that you are being cold or arrogant. This is a desperate attempt to shame you back into the cage. They want to make your growth feel like a crime so that you will apologize for your evolution. Do not fall for it. Their smear campaign is actually a confirmation of your promotion. You have reached a level of power where your mere presence or your strategic absence commands the room. The narcissists in your life can feel that they no longer have a handle on you. They try to press the old buttons, the guilt, the obligation, the fear, but the buttons have been disconnected. They press them and nothing happens. This sends them into a state of narcissistic rage or passive-aggressive panic. They might try to replace you with someone else, but they quickly realize that no one can mimic the divine frequency of a chosen one. They are realizing that they didn't just lose a friend or a helper, they lost their primary source of spiritual sustenance. The Matrix is afraid of you because a person who needs nothing from the world is a person the world cannot control. By outgrowing these roles, you have stopped seeking validation from the system. You don't need their likes, you don't need their approval, and you certainly don't need their permission to exist. This makes you a dangerous element. You are like a lion that has realized the bars of the cage were made of paper. You aren't attacking the zookeepers. You are simply walking past them as if they aren't there. That level of indifference is the ultimate spiritual weapon. The enemy's reaction is your proof of victory. Every time they try to bait you and you remain in your peace, you are winning. Every time they try to triangulate others against you and you don't defend yourself, you are reclaiming your throne. They are watching you from a distance, confused by your stillness. They are waiting for you to crash, waiting for you to come crawling back to the old roles. But you are already miles above the atmosphere they breathe. You are no longer their prey. You are the sovereign of your own reality. This brings us to the core of the mystery, the truth that the world has tried to hide from you. Your life is not a series of random events, and your current isolation is not a mistake of fate. It is the fulfillment of a divine prophecy written in your very DNA. You must understand that the roles you have been playing were actually the simulated training grounds for your true destiny. You had to learn how to navigate the darkness from the inside. You had to experience the weight of the chains so that one day you could speak the words that would break them for others. The metaphysical truth is that you are a high-frequency architect. In the higher dimensions, there is a blueprint for your life that bears no resemblance to the small, cramped roles you have been trying to fill. The universe operates on the law of resonance, and as you have ascended, you have physically outgrown the dimensions of your old life. You are literally too big for the room. Think of a seed. For a long time, it is comfortable in the dark, quiet earth. But the moment it begins to sprout, the shell that once protected it becomes a prison. It must crack. It must break. It must push through the soil into a world it cannot yet see. You are at the breaking of the shell stage. The prophecy for your life is one of sovereignty, not service. For too long, you have confused spiritual service with spiritual slavery. You thought that being a chosen one meant being the person who bleeds so others can feel whole. But the deep truth is that God does not require your depletion to fuel his plan. The universe is infinite. It does not need you to be a martyr. It needs you to be a master. You are moving from the age of the servant into the age of the sovereign. In this new era, your power does not come from what you do for people, but from who you are in the presence of God. There is a celestial timing to this exit. Look at the world around you. The systems are shaking, the masks are falling, and the old structures of control are crumbling. You are being pulled out of your old roles now because you are needed for the reconstruction phase. You cannot help build the new earth if you are still obsessed with repairing the plumbing of the old matrix. You are being called to higher ground so that when the floods of change come, you will be the one standing on the rock, holding the light for those who are ready to climb. This is the theology of the remnant. Throughout history, there has always been a small percentage of the population, the chosen, who were called to step away from the crowd. They were the ones who went into the desert, the ones who sat in silence, the ones who refused to bow to the golden idols of their time. You are part of that lineage. Your quiet exit is a sacred ritual of purification. You are being washed clean of the expectations of your mother, the demands of your father, the pressures of your peers, and the lies of society. The universe's law is clear. Energy follows focus. As long as you were focused on playing those old roles, your energy was being siphoned into a dead-end reality. But by turning your gaze inward, by choosing the path of the silent withdrawal, you are reclaiming every ounce of your power. You are collapsing the wave of your old life and allowing a new, more glorious reality to manifest. You are realizing that you are not a human being having a spiritual experience, but a divine force of nature that has finally remembered its name. The truth is that you never belong to them. You never belonged to that family, that job, or that social circle. You were a visitor, a traveler, a cosmic scout sent to gather data. And now the data has been collected. The mission is complete. The Great Spirit is calling its soldier home to headquarters for a debriefing and a promotion. Stop looking back at the burning bridges with regret. Those bridges had to burn so you would stop trying to cross back over into a land where you no longer fit. The fire is not your enemy. The fire is your liberation. So how do you walk this path without stumbling? How do you maintain this new high vibration silence when the world screams for your return? The practical step is simple, yet it requires the iron will of a warrior. You must practice the art of the vanishing act. This does not mean you have to move to a cabin in the woods. Though your soul may crave it, it means you must move in silence. Stop sharing your plans. Stop explaining your why. Stop trying to make people understand a version of you that they aren't equipped to perceive. Your growth is a private conversation between you and the divine. When you feel the urge to justify your distance, ground yourself. Put your feet on the bare earth and feel the frequency of the planet. Remember that the trees do not explain why they lose their leaves. They simply trust the cycle. The sun does not apologize for setting. It knows it will rise in a different glory. You must become just as unapologetic. If someone asks why you are different, let your only answer be your peace. If they demand your time, give them your absence. Silence is not a vacuum. It is a boundary made of light. I want you to take a deep breath right now. Feel the air entering your lungs, expanding that space in your chest that has felt so tight. That tightness is the old role trying to hold on. The breath is the new life forcing its way in. Exhale the guilt. Exhale the obligation. Exhale the ghost of the person you used to be. You are being sealed in this new frequency. The universe is placing a hedge of protection around your energy field that no lower entity can penetrate. Repeat these words in the sanctuary of your mind, or speak them aloud to the walls of your room. I officially resign from every role that requires me to diminish my light. I break every contract of people-pleasing, every vow of self-sacrifice, and every tie to those who only love my utility. I am not a bridge for others to walk on. I am a destination. I am not a source of fuel for the ungrateful. I am the fire itself. I claim my sovereignty. I claim my silence. I claim my new life. It is done, and so it is. You have graduated, chosen one. The ceremony was quiet. There were no cap and gowns, only the shedding of heavy burdens. But the host of heaven is standing in ovation for you. You have done the hardest thing a human can do. You have walked away from the familiar to embrace the divine. You are now entering the phase of the great restoration. Everything you lost while playing those old roles, your joy, your vitality, your abundance, will now be returned to you tenfold because you finally have the space to hold it. Stay in this stillness. Do not rush to fill the void with new noise or new people. Let the silence teach you who you are when no one is watching. Let the emptiness become the womb of your new creation. You are safe. You are seen. You are profoundly loved by the Creator who called you out of the darkness and into this marvelous light. Your announcement isn't a word, it is your new life. Live it loudly by staying quiet. If this message resonated with your soul, if you felt the truth of these words vibrating in your very bones, then you know you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Claim this activation. Type "I am sovereign" in the comments to seal this energy and let the universe know you are ready for your next assignment. Subscribe to this frequency if you are ready to walk this path with your true tribe. The journey has just begun, and the best part is, you don't have to explain a single thing to anyone.
Only the worthy may